So, guys, what's going on? So, here's an article from the Rolling Stone. And just when you read this article, there's a couple of others that are saying how AI is transforming hiring and either people getting jobs or companies that are looking to hire people, what AI is doing. And I did a video on this before. What's happening is you're sending your resume through an Indeed or a LinkedIn or a ZipRecruiter or whatever website that you send it through. And now a lot of time that resume gets looked at through an AI, some sort of AI bot or program. And that AI bot or that AI program has parameters. It's looking for certain keywords or certain things in your resume that I guess it's either like a description or a certain job or activity or something you did that matches the current job. And if it doesn't find that keyword and if it doesn't find that job that you did that fits this current job, it gets knocked out. And it knocks it out in a second. So you send your resume in, it scans it within a blink of an eye, and it doesn't see its word or it doesn't see some sort of job or experience that you had before, and it knocks the resume out. And the job seeker, you may have all the qualifications of this job, and you may be overly qualified for the job. You may know how to do this job inside and out, but however you might have written the resume, or you may be missing a certain word, or maybe you didn't dot an I or cross a T, I don't know, on your resume, the AI knocks it out. And then from the job hiring, the person hiring you, the company that's hiring you, they kind of don't want to deal with it. What they want to do is the HR just wants to get this very fine-tuned, from 1,000 people down to 5 or 10 people, and they just want to look at those people. They don't have the time to look through all the resumes. Years ago, when you used to look for a job, you either emailed or you had to send a fax or you sent a hard copy of a resume. You physically mailed it, something like that, and somebody physically looked through your resume and they might have seen like, this guy, he did this in the past, and what he did in the past, it's not the same exact job title, or maybe it wasn't the same exact responsibilities, but what you did absolutely fits with what they need now. And, you would just transfer or transition into a job. Now with AI, if it's not an exact fit, if you don't fit that exact parameter, if you don't have that word, whatever that word may be, that fits whatever the job is, it just gets knocked out. Nobody's seeing it. It just gets thrown into an abyss, and you probably get an automatic reply, if you even get that says something like, thanks for applying, and, looking for a job is this and that, but, we decided to move on, to the next with another candidate or the next round or whatever the hell it is, and good luck. And that's what you get. And some people don't even get that. The other thing that's happening is that employers, and I said this in my other video, I'm reading, you can read it when you go through these articles, they're just interviewing people or they might have job postings, not even interviewing. So you might have job postings just to make their company look like it's growing. They also put postings up to put the other people in the company like on an alert, like almost to get them working harder. I guess if you're working at a company and you're the accountant, and then you see a job posting for like an accountant at the company you're working for right now, you may work harder. You're going to be like, they're looking to hire another accountant. I better work harder. I might be on my way out. They do that to kind of razz their employees. They also do it as to save data. And what I mean by data is they're saving people's information, and they have a roster of people in case they need to use someone down the line. So maybe they need to hire somebody a year from now, 10 months from now. They have a data pool of people they can kind of go through and say, you sent us a resume, 5 months ago. You're still interested in the job. That's the other thing that they do. And then what a lot of these companies do, depending on the companies, they may get thousands of resumes. And they'll take that information and they put it in a list, and then they sell that information. And the company will make money that way. You have companies that they're not even real. I don't want to say they're not real, but you'll have a company with like a guy that he's the only employee. It's a legit company, and they have, he has his business, and he puts up a ad up on Indeed that he's looking for one thing or another, an accountant, let's say, and he has 1,000 people send him a resume with emails and addresses and phone numbers and all that good stuff, and then he could sell that information to whoever they sell it to. I'm not sure who they sell it to, but they are able to sell 1,000 people at a time to some sort of company. That's why you might be getting crazy texts about things that you never knew existed, either to buy something or a job fair or who knows what it is. And they do that way. They're selling your information. So between the AI that is looking at your resume now, you're not having a human go through your resume. The job itself may be, not there, or they're doing something to get on their own employees about, but they're using, I guess a job posting to do it. That's another thing. And just at the market, there's not really any more type of, I guess, jobs. There's no more factory jobs. I mean, there's no more safe type of job. Even if you have a master's degree and you are working in a job, it seems like there is layoffs. So you may have a job, and the next thing you know, 5 months down the line, a year down the line, this company or whatever company, I read them all the time, there's 1,000 people laid off, 5,000 people laid off. I mean, they'll just lay off thousands of people at a clip. And then now those people are looking for jobs. You have people that are coming out of school looking for jobs. You're looking for a job. And it just becomes a real mishmash. America sent all their jobs away back in the 90s, I guess, through NAFTA. They had big factories. They had places where thousands of people could work. And they found that it's cheaper to send these jobs overseas or to other countries where the people work cheaper and they don't have to deal with unions. And not saying that you would come out of college with a master's degree and go work like in a factory, let's say, but if you have no job and your alternative was to work in a factory, I guess, screwing in, I don't know, a car seat or assembling a box, and you were getting, $25 an hour for that, you might choose that instead of not working at all. But you don't even have that choice because America does not have any more type of factory. The only thing you could do now is possibly apply to government jobs, and government means anything, your local cop, fireman, sanitation, police department, whatever it is, electrical, water, and you could apply to that in your town or city, and you hope for the best with that. I guess civil service. Or you just, a lot of people I know are coming out of school with master's degrees and they're working in Uber or a DoorDash or Uber Eats, where they're just, they're driving all day. And it seems that the driving and the running back and forth all day with the gas and the wear and tear on the car, that it basically evens out. You even out. You're not really making anything after you pay whatever the fees are, whatever you're paying for gas, whatever comes up on the car. It's a wash for the most part. It evens out. It's a break. So I guess you're doing something. You're getting around. You're doing things, but I'm not sure you're making any real money, and that's a shame. But that's what it seems like is going on. AI. Not only is it reading your resume, it may take the job in general. That's just the way it is. And then I don't know what happens after that. The government will either have a bunch of people that aren't working and in the streets, or and not having any money, or the government will have to give some sort of universal basic income. We've heard about universal basic income for the last 5 years. They were talking about it. I think Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook brought it up years ago because I think they were exploring all this AI. They kind of saw where it was going. You're either going to have to give people money to live or they're not going to live. And then the government is either going to have to deal with those people because if you have no money, you're going to be doing something, or they're going to have to take care of them, I guess, one way or the other. Either you're going to be locking them in a jail because they'll be doing whatever they're doing to feed themselves and their family, or you're going to have to be paying them money to live. So I don't know what the end game is for this. There's some sort of end game, and I'm not sure exactly where. Right now, it seems like AI is a big thing, and computers is always something, but you're reading about massive tech layoffs, so that's something else. You're reading about people that aren't going traditional routes anymore, and they're going into things like carpentry and plumbing and HVAC and things of that nature because they're saying, well, AI can't do that, and they may be right, but pretty soon you'll have I'm not sure when, maybe 5-10, maybe sooner. I always say 5-10 years, but you may have a robot or an AI type of carpenter. So, we have it with a lot of other fields. So that is it. I just figured I put this here. I see a lot of videos about this whole AI. Well, really, I see a lot of videos about people that cannot get jobs. People are having a hard time getting a job. They can't get a job. They can't keep a job. They get a job, and the job is putting the work of 3 or 4 people on top of them. These companies are micromanaging. They want back to the office, but they're not even sure what you're going back to the office for. It's people just sitting around, and then a layoff happens anyway. It's just a real big mishmash of things, and that's what it is. But that is it. Of course, if you know anything more about this, leave a comment below. I'd love to read your comment. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please share it. And with that being said, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe. I hope everyone's getting a job. God bless you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.